Today's video is brought to you in part by Windrider Apparel, The Angler Magazine, Artistic Printers, Mammoth Ridge Campground and RV Park, Rebel River Outfitters,
Rougarou Tackle Company, Hooker's Terminal Tackle, Mossheim Market and Deli, and Slab Happy Lures.
Well, good morning, guys. It's Perry Hensley back with you here from Slab Happy Lures. Just waking up, getting the day started. I had a pretty rough week, past week. It's all right because God saw me through it, saw us through it, and give God all the glory for that. But anyway, I'm here to tell you that we went and JD and I fished the Crappie series, formerly known as Crappie USA, and in the amateur division, and had a really good day fishing. Jumped out there, lines in at 6:30. We had 6 of our 7 fish by 7 o'clock, and moved on. They were legal fish. They were smaller fish, but they were legal black crappie, and um, got those in the boat. And so we moved from that spot there. And about, I'm thinking 9:30, 10 o'clock, our second spot we come to it right off the bat. JD hooks a 174-pound slab, and tickled to death with it, and we got it in the boat. And um, later on, we moved up the lake, and we got out of our comfort zone once again, fishing deep for these crappie, and caught bigger fish that way, and um, sometimes we've got to get out of that comfort zone if we want to do anything, uh, if we want to do any better, whether it be fishing or whether it be in our lives. Sometimes we have to step outside that comfort zone and, you know, uh, brave the unknown every now and again. Or we become stagnant, as anglers, and, as Christians as well. Uh, but anyway, we managed to get to our final spot we fished that day, and we were able to cull up 4 to 5 fish. By that time, had a good 130 that I caught. Had a good 152 that I caught. Um, Wound up on our scales, before we left for the day to go back to weigh in. We had 8 pounds, 8.37 pounds, which we were, pretty ecstatic to have that, and that one big fish that JD got there put us over the top for that. But we were tickled to get that, and by the time we had got back to weigh in, or to put the boat on the trailer, we noticed that that big fish had died, and you can't weigh a dead fish in. Um, but we, you know, I could have did more um, to keep that fish alive. I could have put more weight on it to hold it down deeper in the live well, and it's always hard to keep them alive when it's hot outside, and you pulling them. I think that fish come from about 25 feet. Um, and when you pull them from that deep, it's rough, on the fish, and you have to tend to them, and give them a lot of attention. One thing that we should have done, that was my call, that we should have done. Um, I'll take full responsibility for that, and that's putting the cooler in the boat that JD uh, had made earlier this year, and we used it at the Douglas tournament. Our fish were just, you know, happy-go-lucky flopping around, and happy in that cooler. And that's one thing I wish we would have done. I wish I would have done. It's on me. And uh, but we live and we learn, and we're supposed to learn from our mistakes. And sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 times to learn from something. But I'm hard-headed that way. And but anyway, we had a great time fishing that. I want to thank Mall Sign Market in Delhi for sponsoring that event for us, and uh, um, I can't thank those guys enough over there. My products are in their store. Um, Good people. Every time I go over there, excuse me, they've got a friendly hello for me, and I think are genuine about it. And like I said, we finished fifth, our first national tournament, and um, some of these guys are good. Some of these guys are great, and hats off to everyone that fished, and placed. Hats off to Mr. Joe Nash, local. He's been picked to win this tournament, and he is an excellent fisherman. Him and Jimmy Pratt um, weighed in 11.88 pounds in the pro division there, and awesome, awesome weight. This time of year especially. Um, but they took home the win, and thank God, thank the Lord, for blessing all of us while we were out there that day. And I say it a lot of times, um, sometimes a win don't involve a check or a plaque or anything like that. It's just the opportunity that God gives you, to go out and fellowship and make memories and stuff like that. So, you know, I would be lying if I said I wasn't downhearted just a little bit. Uh, we would have had, I think, third place locked down, had our fish lived and things were the way they were when we finished, when they finished the weigh-ins. But we can't let that hold us down. We got to, again, bounce back from it, and let it roll off our back, and try to do things better the next time, and give God the glory for what we did have, and for the experience that we had, and again, not every win comes with a trophy and a check, and uh, sometimes it's a lesson and it's a blessing, and that's what we're all about anyway. Um, Competition is fun. Um, it's great to win money. We're not in it for the money. If we'd have been in it for the money, we'd have quit a long time ago. And um, but we have fun doing what we're doing. And I like to represent our sponsors, well, and as best as I can, and we try to do that. We're obligated to that. Pretty much in a sense. For things. But we don't let that overshadow us going out and making memories and having a good time. We can all do the same thing, and we just had a great time, fishing that tournament, and um, being with other anglers, just like we do in the East Tennessee Crappie Tournament Trail. All of those guys, a lot of those fished it, and that's stiff competition right there. I don't care who you are. If you go to anybody's home lake, um, pro or not, and um, in a lake that some of these guys fish, several times a week, throughout the year, all year long, um, and you're up against that, you're in the donut hole. You're kind of in the negative on odds go, the way the odds go, and and but man, you can't take nothing away from those guys that come, to fish that didn't know about the lake earlier that week. It just shows you how great of anglers they are, really. Like Patrick Stone and um, um, Matt Outlaw, those guys like that, that really do well and that shine, in the crappie fishing world. But you know, when you can get a win, and against fishing with those guys, no matter what the lake is, that says a lot about your angling abilities, your skills, and stuff that you've been blessed with, And let's not take any of the credit away from God. God is the reason you're out here doing what you're doing. God is the reason that you catch the fish that you do. Um, um, say it's silly to pray, for some people will say that it's silly to pray, but God's got to be in everything, and if you don't trust Him on praying out for a fish, whoa, man, I don't know what to think about you, how strong is your faith, in Jesus Christ and what He can do for you. Um, Many a times, almost every time, I lean on the Lord to I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else or my faith's any stronger than anybody else. I fail coming to the faith part, you know, but like I said, some people think it's silly to pray, for a fishing tournament. As far as catching fish, and God blessing you during your tournament, um, if you don't have faith that He can put a fish in the boat for you, it's you need to work on your faith a little bit, because He will do it. If you put Him in everything, He'll bless you in everything that is of His will anyway, and that's what we try to do. And you know, uh, but we cannot take any credit away from the Lord for any of these guys. Being safe on the water, catching the fish that they did, to have the health that they have to be able to fish like that. And it's a long, grueling day. You don't realize how much you move around and how much it takes out of you, until you get to the end of the day and, or you're traveling back home. You're just wore out when you get home. Uh, but anyway, just want to come on here and touch base with you guys. We did finish second in the Douglas tournament, which was a sections tournament. We finished second below Matt Zenas, which Douglas is our home lake, and it's hard to beat Matt. Matt is a great angler himself, and is usually right up there in the money, and but any of those guys at any time, can be up in the money, can be up in that first to third spot. You're not safe from anyone that fishes that tournament trail there in our East Tennessee Crappie Trail. Um, but anyway, hats off to all the winners. Hats off to everyone that fished it, and again, we really enjoyed it and had a good time. If you're looking to um, test yourself, you know, come out. You're a good crappie fisherman. And you think you can, think you can do good in it. Come out and try it one time. That's what we did. Uh, we didn't have a lot of confidence in ourselves. To a point on our lakes we did, but to travel around to different lakes and fish those lakes and try to beat some people that's their home lake. And that was an experience for us to do, and we've done it a couple of times. Um, and you don't know if you don't go. And step outside your comfort zone. get out there and learn all these other ways to fish. We've been taught a lot since joining this tournament trail here, the East Tennessee Crappie Tournament Trail. And the biggest thing is that you learn. You learn from other anglers and from those that you're getting beat by every time. You learn from them, and eventually, you climb your way up the ladder. I think when JD and I started, we were finishing uh, um, somewhere around the late teens and 20s place in those events, and jumped up and fished the classic that first year at Chickamauga, and third place. We were in the money. And sometimes it works out that way, but like I said, against all these other anglers, um, you never know where you're going to end up. They're so good at any time. They can have a real great day, and things can fall their way, and you know they'll just shine that day. But that's if you don't get in there and try, don't step outside your comfort zone. I've had to do it. JD's had to do it, and we do it all the time. And uh, that's the best way that I found yet to learn. It took me years to learn and to be as decent of a fisherman as I was on our home lakes. But you know, when you go to a different area of water, it's a whole different ball game. Uh, you have to break that lake down. You have to be willing to look at that lake, and if it's some type of lake where you have to fish differently, you've got to always adapt to that lake. And I invite each and every one of you, for those that don't have confidence in yourself to fish a tournament trail, I'm telling you, jump out there and try it one time, at least one time, and see if it's not a lot of fun, see if you don't push yourself, uh, to do better and learn from it. And for those of you that think that they could go out there and they could, uh, beat the top dogs. You don't know if you don't go. You know, it's easy to sit back and talk and brag and do all of that, fishing your home lake all the time. But you step outside your comfort zone, and you realize, when you're out of your element, the odds are against you, and but that helps you in the long run. It does. It teaches you. But anyway, I hope the Lord blesses you today. I hope you know that God loves you. I hope you realize that I love you, but even more so, He loves you. And He sent His Son to die for you, to die for each and every one of us, and you're not too far away for um, to come back home. Or you're not too far for Jesus Christ to save. And you need to come. Time's getting short. And but until next time. We hope you have a blessed day, and this is Perry Hensley with Slab Happy Lures. We'll see you.